What is going on, guys? Flamm back with another comparison video, and today we are going over the tactical SMG versus the silenced SMG. Now, prior to the silenced SMG getting a buff, I wasn't even going to make this comparison because to me it was so obvious that the tactical SMG was so far superior. Prior to the silenced SMG getting a buff about a week and a half ago, it just wasn't even really worth comparing. But with the buff and damage with the silenced SMG resulting in a faster time to kill, I definitely think they are worth comparing now. So to start off here, let's go ahead and just break down the numbers. Let's start off with the tactical SMG. There are 3 rarities with the tactical SMG, those being green, blue, and purple, otherwise known as uncommon, rare, and epic. For body shot damage, the green does 16, the blue does 17, and the purple does 18. Now with both of these SMGs, both the tactical and the silenced SMG, the headshot multiplier is 2 times, so you simply take the body shot damage and you multiply it by 2. Now before we move over to the silenced SMG, let's also talk about the time to kill. For the time to kill, we're going to use the base health of 100, which is what everybody starts off with at the beginning of the game. So with the green tactical submachine gun, it actually takes 1 more bullet to kill someone who is 100 health. It takes 7 bullets, which results in a time to kill of 0.46 seconds. Now both the blue and purple tactical SMG require 6 bullets to kill, so their time to kill is 0.38 seconds. Now the exact number is 0.385, so we'll go ahead and round up and say 39 hundredths of a second. Alright, moving on over to the silenced SMG. The silenced SMG has 3 rarities as well, those being white, which is common, green, which is uncommon, and blue, which is rare. So for body shot damage, the white does 20, the green does 21, and the blue does 22. Same thing, like I mentioned, the critical damage multiplier is 2 times that of the body shot, so you simply take the body shot and multiply it by 2. Now when facing an opponent that is 100 health, all 3 of these weapons have the exact same time to kill. They all require 5 bullets to kill somebody, which results in a time to kill of 0.44 seconds, so 44 hundredths of a second. So for a basic comparison between these 2 weapons, the green tactical SMG is the worst weapon out of all of these when it comes to time to kill, and the best weapons are the blue and the purple, specifically when you're looking at time to kill. Now real quick, how does that compare to most weapons in the game? Well, I think ARs are the most common in the game, full auto assault rifles, so we'll look at those as a comparison. The time to kill on a white, green, or blue assault rifle is 0.55 seconds, and the time to kill on the SCARs, which are the epic and the legendary versions of the full auto assault rifles, is 0.36 seconds. So the time to kill on a SCAR is actually faster than the time to kill of an SMG, which you would expect an SMG to have a faster time to kill considering it is more of an up-close weapon. Now right here on screen are the time to kills for headshot damage for these weapons. 0.23 for the green tac, 1.5 for the blue and purple tac, 0.22 for all of these silenced SMGs, and 0.18 for the SCAR. For me, I don't really like to talk about headshot time to kill in Fortnite because with Bloom in the game, it makes it so that headshots and hitting headshots is really inconsistent. It's very hard to hit headshots because a lot of it comes down to pure luck. It depends on whether your bullet wants to go exactly where the reticle is, and you just can't really optimize the optimal time to kill with headshots as consistently as you can with body shots. Now speaking of Bloom, I talk about this in every single one of my videos, so if you've watched one of my videos, sorry, I do have to explain this for the people who may not know. Bloom is the randomization of your bullets. Some people call it bullet spread. There's many different names for it. I personally call it Bloom. Now right here on the screen, we have zoomed in all the way to the center of my screen, and as you can see, there is a dot right in the middle. That is your reticle. That is where your bullet is supposed to go. However, there are 4 lines around the outside of your reticle. Those 4 lines signify the area in which your bullet can potentially go. So anywhere inside of those 4 lines is a possibility for when you fire the trigger. So on screen right now is the tactical SMG. This is the Bloom of the tactical SMG, and when we switch to the silenced SMG, you can see that the Bloom size reduces, meaning that the silenced SMG is a little bit more accurate. Now for reference, here is the assault rifle, the SCAR, and as you can see, it is a lot more confined, which makes sense because the SCAR is a long-range weapon, whereas submachine guns are close-range weapons. So when it comes to tactical submachine gun versus silenced submachine gun, the silenced submachine gun is the more accurate weapon, which means that at longer ranges you are going to be a lot more consistent, meaning you are more likely to hit your shots. Now the final piece of information that I want to give you guys before we compile it all together and make a conclusion is which one is more effective at shooting down builds. If you guys watched my light machine gun versus minigun video, you'll remember that the damage number on the weapon isn't actually the damage number that it does to the build. You will also remember that every single weapon in a given subclass has the same damage number regardless of rarity. So when it comes to the tactical SMG, the tactical submachine gun, it does 17 damage to builds. So with the tactical SMG firing 13 bullets per second, that results in a DPS of shooting down builds of 221. When it comes to the silenced SMG, it does 22 damage per bullet to builds, and with a fire rate of 9 bullets per second, that results in a DPS of 198. For comparison's sake, the full auto assault rifles do 33 damage to builds, resulting in a damage per second of 182. So clearly when it comes to taking out builds, the tactical SMG is the superior weapon. Is it by a lot? No, it's not by a ton, but what you have to consider is the faster you can take out a build, the less time that build has a chance to continuously get stronger. When someone places down a piece of material, whether it be wood, brick, or stone, it starts out with a base number and then it gradually gets stronger and stronger. When it comes to wood, it gets stronger even faster than other materials, so if you're fighting someone who is constantly placing down wood, using a tactical SMG that is able to shoot out that wood as fast as humanly possible is going to make it so that it has less of a chance at getting even stronger. So with all of that in mind, which is the better weapon, the tactical submachine gun or the silenced submachine gun? For me personally, I'm going to have to go with the tactical submachine gun. The tactical submachine gun has a faster time to kill. It also does better at taking out opponents' builds, whereas the silenced SMG, the only thing it is better at is having less bloom. Now having less bloom is definitely a good thing, but when I'm using a submachine gun, I want to use it up close and personal. I want to use it at basically shotgun range, so having a faster time to kill is crucial because shotguns are so dominant in the close range space. That nearly 10th of a second that it takes you to kill someone faster with a tactical SMG than a silenced SMG can be the difference between you surviving and dying. Now even though the tactical SMG is the better weapon in this comparison, I would still like to see the tactical SMG receive a buff, specifically for the purple or epic SMG. Like I mentioned earlier, SCARs actually have a faster time to kill than SMGs, and to me that just doesn't make any sense. SMGs have to be used at only extremely close range, which only shotguns are dominant at, and they have a lot more bloom than SCARs do. So if you were to bump the purple SMG up to 20 body shot damage, that would mean you would only have to use 5 bullets in order to kill someone, which would reduce the time to kill all the way down to 31 hundredths of a second. And that's not anything insane. The SCAR does a time to kill of 36 hundredths of a second, meaning you would only have a difference in time to kill of 5 hundredths of a second. And again, SMGs, specifically the tactical SMG, are only good at very close ranges. There's a ton of bloom, there's a ton of damage drop off, so if the only way that it can possibly compete is in shotgun range, you have to have it have a decent time to kill. Otherwise, it's just going to get mowed over 99% of the time. So the tactical SMG isn't in a terrible place, but I think buffing its time to kill by 8 hundredths of a second would really make it feel like a much better weapon. Now to end this video, I wanted to talk about the silenced SMG. A lot of people before the silenced SMG received its buff said that it should just be thrown in the vault. They should remove it from the game. It doesn't have a place in the game. It does not feel like a good weapon. They need to just remove this weapon. Now with the buff, I would say that this weapon definitely feels better. Decreasing the time to kill, meaning you can kill people faster, definitely made it feel a lot better than it was. It felt really sluggish before. It felt like you were at a big disadvantage when you got this weapon. You felt like it was probably the worst weapon you could get off the start because the time to kill was just so slow. So I will say when I do get this weapon at the start, I don't feel as devastated as I did before. I feel like I can hold my own. I feel like this is a weapon that is viable, a weapon I can use to effectively get a kill. It still does not compete with shotguns, of course. If someone gets a shotgun, they're clearly going to have the advantage at close range, but at least with the current state of the silenced SMG, I feel like I can at least compete. But here's the biggest problem to me when it comes to the silenced SMG. The silenced SMG is designed to be used at a medium to close range. The tactical SMG is more designed to be used at a very close range, and the silenced SMG is more used for a medium range. But the problem is that it doesn't even really have a medium range. The damage drop off is so fast, nearly 2 times faster than a SCAR or a typical assault rifle, and it has a lot more bloom, meaning that even if you are lucky enough to hit somebody at a medium range, your bullets are going to be doing less damage. And of course, with more bloom, there's less likely of a chance that your bullet is actually going to hit that person. So the reason I compared these SMGs so often throughout this video to the SCAR is, of course, number one, the SCAR is one of the most dominant weapons in the game. And number two, I would like to see the silenced SMG have more of a middle ground. The SCAR is used at long ranges and medium ranges, and then we have shotguns that are used at close range and a little bit into medium range. This is where the silenced SMG needs to fall. It needs to be very dominant in that medium range. When Epic Games designed the damage drop-off for the silenced SMG, to me it feels like they designed it for something like a Call of Duty map, instead of a Battle Royale map that is absolutely massive. It feels like the weapon just does too little damage at a medium range where I feel like it should be doing a decent number of damage, and then of course combined with the bloom, it feels like it's very difficult to actually land your shots. So to me, if Epic Games really wants to keep the silenced SMG in the game, they really need to rework it. They need to decrease the overall bloom, and they need to extend the range at which damage drop-off occurs. And I think if they successfully look at it and they really break it down and they try to make the silenced SMG a very good weapon at medium range, I think overall it would really help the game. It would make weapon variety a lot more interesting. A lot more people would start to choose it over something like a SCAR, because right now SCAR is just clearly the superior option. There's just no way that the silenced SMG even competes with the SCAR. And I think if they can potentially make the silenced SMG compete with the SCAR, it would be a ton of fun and I'd be way more interested in holding on to that weapon. But if they don't want to put forth the time in order to make this a very good medium range weapon, which I do understand because it would take a lot of time and a lot of effort to really make this weapon shine, then I'd say just go ahead and put it in the vault. But let me know what you guys personally think. Do you think the silenced SMG in its current state should stay in the game, or do you personally think that they should just go ahead and throw it in the vault? When it comes to tactical versus silenced SMG, which one do you guys personally prefer, and which one do you think is better? Hopefully this video was informative. Thank you guys so very much for watching, and I'll catch you in my next video.